सहोवाच मुख्य प्राण, that chief vital force said, Kim me annam bhavishyati? What will be my food? मुख्यम प्राणम प्रष्टारम इव कल्पयित्वा वागादिन प्रतिवक्त्रान इव कल्पयन्ति श्रुति ही आह. The Upanishad text is actually imagining a story here, as if the chief vital force is a questioner and these organs of speech etc. are the respondents. Mukhyam pranam prashtaram eva kalpayitva, imagining the chief vital force as if he is a questioner, and vagadin prativaktin eva kalpayanti shrudihi. The Upanishad text is actually concocting this story and imagining in this story the organs of speech etc. as the respondents to the questioner vital force. So, this is not the main Shruti itself, that means to say. This is not Upanishad. This is an imagination. This is not a secret statement. Like Upanishads are all secret statements related to knowledge directly. But this is a story being put in between with certain idea of enjoining a fact. There are two portions here, again in between, again and again it will be happening in between here. Now you will be seeing some portion is Shruti itself and some portion is imagination. And imagined by Shruti itself. It is not pure Shruti but a story. Imagined. Because a thing which is imagined has not cannot be possessed of authority. A thing which is not imaginary, which is real Shruti, is an authority. Pramanikatvam, what we say, authority, is in Shruti itself only, not in the imagined portion. The imagination is meant for some other purpose. Only that, for that purpose, that idea, the Shruti would like to take out of this imagination for enjoying certain meditation. Therefore, this Bhashyakara is still like this now. This is only a kalpana done by Shruti, an imagination done by Shruti herself. Yedam loke annajatam prasiddham ashvabhya shvabhi saha ashakunibhya saha shakunibhi. Yedam, everything whatever which is said to be as food in this world, eaten by including the dogs and including the birds. That means to say, sarva praninam yadannam, food of all creatures, living and non-living creatures. Because the non-living creatures, they don't have their own atma or intellect, mind, etc. But still they also have their own food. Therefore, of all creatures, you have to say, yadannam tat tavannam iti hochuhu vakaya. That is your food. This is what the speech, organ of speech, etc. gave reply to the questioner vital force. Pranasya sarvam annam prano atta sarvasya annasya ittevam pratipatteye kalpitakhyaika rupat vyavritya svena shruti rupena aha. You see, only that much portion was a concocted story. The rest is Shruti herself. Tadva etad anasyannam anohavai nama. All this portion is Shruti, not story. Only Sahovacha up to iti hochu is the imaginary story. From Sahovacha up to hochu in the mantra. That much portion is story, imagined. The rest is Shruti. That's why, to show the difference, Bhashyakara has given this statement here. Pranasya sarvam mannam. Everything is the food of vital force. Prano atta sarvasya. And this vital force is the eater of all types of food. Sarvasya annasya. Ityevam pratipatteye. In order to establish this knowledge, kalpita akhyayika, the imaginary story which was been imagined by the Shruti Upanishad herself, now vyavritya, getting out of that story, Svena Shrutirupena aha. Now, having desisted from that story portion, the Upanishad text, the authoritative portion, is itself in its own form. Now, stating the further statements in its own Vedic form. That means what? Shruti Rupena, in the authoritative form. The story portion is the non-authoritative form of the Vedas, and this portion is the authoritative form of the Vedas. Svena Shruti Rupena ah. What? Tadva etad anasya annam anoha vai nama, etc. Tadva etad, that which is yat kinchit loke, all this in this world well known, pranibir annam adyate, in this world eaten by all types of creatures, that is anasya pranasya tadannam bhavati, that is actually the food of the vital force. Why? Pranenaiva tadate ityartha, because the meaning is that everything is really eaten by the vital force only, not by any person. सर्व प्रकार चेष्टा व्याप्ति गुण प्रदर्शनार्थम अन्न इति प्राण से प्रत्यक्षम नाम. You see the most important thing here, anapranane is one dhatu, one verbal root. The other verbal root is anacheshtaya. Here the dhatu which is being taken here is anacheshtaya, not anapranane. Because anapranane is related only to breath, inhaling and exhaling. Only that particular action is treated by anapranane. But this is anachestam, which is a general verb which includes all the actions done by any organ, not only eating or inhaling and exhaling breath, but every chesta, every action. There's a Bhashakara saying, Sarva Prakara Chesta Vyapti Guna Pradarsanartham. In order to show, in order to show that the vital force is possessed of the quality of comprehending all kinds of endeavor within itself. For that purpose, the word here used is Ana. The name of the vital force is given here Ana. And this Ana is derived from Anachestayam, not from Anapranane. Iti pranasya pratyaksham nama. This is the actual direct name of vital force. Pradi upasarga purvatvehi, and he was differentiating now. Bhashakara is differentiating and telling very clearly, Pradi upasarga purvatvehi, if preceded by the prefixes pra etc. Pra ana, sa sama ana samana. Vi ana is vyana. Vi a ana is vyana. So prana apanam is apa ana. Udanam is ud a ana. So if we add the prefixes, then what's going to happen? The meaning changes totally. Then it will be reduced. The meaning of those words will be reduced to what? He says, pranadi upasargapurvate vishesha gatireva syat. The meaning reduces to mean only a particular action. It is not comprehending all the actions in itself. It is related to one particular action. That is the difference. Without prefixes, Anna comprehends all endeavor within itself, whereas when added prefixes, it relates or it denotes, it means a particular action only. That's the difference. विशेषगति रेव स्यात् तथा च सर्वन्नानामत्तु नामग्रहणम् इति इदं प्रत्यक्षं नाम. Therefore, सर्वन्नानाम अत्तु नामग्रहणम्. If we want to take the name of that person who is the eater of all types of food, therefore, iti idam pratyaksham nama. This is the direct name of that vital force which eats everything is ana. Ana iti. Nama ana iti. You have to take pachata namana. Don't take it like that. Namana. Many names. Namana is the Bhavachanam. हाँ नो नाम प्रत्यक्षम नाम अन इति जिस पदच्छेद सर्वन्नामत्तो साक्षात अभिधान इत्यर्थ दैट मीन्स द डायरेक्ट नेम ऑफ द ईटर ऑफ ऑल द फूड्स न वा एवं विधि यथोक्त प्राण विधि प्राणोहम अस्मि सर्वभूतस्थ सर्वन्नामत्त तस्मिन् एवं विधि वै किंचन किंचिद प्राणिभिर आद्यम सर्वैरनन्नम अनाद्यम न भवति इसी भाष्यकर से न वा एवं विधि यथोक्त प्राण विधि एवं विधि मीन्स यथोक्त प्राण विधि a scholar a person having possessed of the knowledge of this vital force as described before yathokt what how is the knowledge that he is possessing prano aham asmi you see what I told the day before I am the eater of all types of food being in the form of prana in all the bodies not directly being in this body alone I will be eating of all the food then how can I eat everything is not possible in the form of prana that is you have to identify yourself totally with prana that which is present in all the bodies in all the creatures the self identification of the vital force existing in all the creatures that prana in that form only you can become the eater of all foods not otherwise not being related to one prana which is residing in one particular body then you are not a prana with usually we are not prana with because we are all related to one body prana only we have identification with the prana which is in this body only we have not identified by practice with the prana of all the bodies yathokta pranadi prano aham asmi I am the prana which prana not that which is in this body but sarvabhutastha that which is in all the bodies of all the creatures all types of bodies of all types of creatures sarvannanamatta being so I am the eater of all types of foods tasmin such a person is called as evam vidhi a person possessing of such knowledge ha vai kinchana kinchidapi indeed surely whatever it might be pranibir आद्यम eaten by all creatures सर्वैः प्राणिभिः आद्यम अनन्नम अनाद्यम न भवति अनन्नम means अनाद्यम न भवति that is not uneatable to that person who is possessing of such a knowledge of the vital force sarvam evam yadi annam bhavati ityartha that means to say everything is eatable to such a scholar. To be more clear, Bhashakara says, Pranabhuta Tadvidushaha. Because that Vidwan, that scholar is nothing but prana itself. He has identified his prana so that he is experiencing himself to be as prana. Just like we say that Bahinsoham, that disciple said, oh, big horns have come on my head, I can't come out of the hut. Though he is having a human body, but he has identified himself with that buffalo so much that he is feeling that he has got horns also. Similarly, this person is a human, he is in a human body only, but still he feels that he is prana existing in all the bodies. Thereby, he becomes the eater of all types of foods. Pranadva esha udeti, prane astameti. Regarding the sun, it is said actually, iti upakramya, evam vido hava udeti surya, evam vidhi astameti iti shrutyantara. Because in the other Upanishad, the Vedic text, some other Vedic text, it is said, this sun rises from prana, this sun sets into prana. And then later says, the sun rises from that pranavit, from that scholar, the sun is rising. And where the sun sets? Into that scholar. Because the scholar is not different from the prana. He has self-identified himself in such a way as the prana, that he is himself prana. Therefore, the sun that rises from prana and sets in prana is stated to be rising from the scholar and setting into the scholar. Pranatva esha udeti. This sun rises from prana. Prana astameti. This is Brahmanyaka. बृहदारण्य का 1523 प्राणाद्वयेश उदेति प्राणे अस्तमेति. This sets down back into the prana. Iti upakramya, starting saw, in the end it stated what? Evam vido hava udeti. Evam vida means a person possessing the knowledge of the vital force as stated before. From such a person, from a man of such a knowledge, rises the sun, udeti surya. And evam vidhi astameti, and a man of such a knowledge, this sun sets into Shrutyantara. This way, it's another text, the Pradhanak text is also supporting this statement of Chandogya. And again the story begins. Sahovacha kimme vaso bhavishyati apaiti hochahu tasmadva etad ashishyanta prastacho pristachadvih paridadati lambukoha vaso bhavati anagnoha bhavati. Iti hochu, up to here only the story. Sahavacha, again that prana said, Kimme vaso bhavishyati, what will be my garment? Apaiti hochu, the other sense organs, etc., speech, etc., what did they say? Water will be your garment, they said. Now the Shruti says by herself, Tasmadva etad ashishyanta. Therefore, the scholars who have the knowledge of vital force, and nowadays those who don't have knowledge also, by lineage we do it, by parampara. Achamanam before food and after food. We take a sip of water, little in the hands, and take a sip of it before food and after food also, both the times. Amrita upastranamasi swaha, amrita pidhanamasi swaha. In the end is pidhanamasi, beginning is upastranamasi. This is nothing but a garment, adho vastra and uttariya vastra of prana. This is what we have to see in it, look upon it. While sipping, we have to feel that we are giving the adho vastra for prana. And when in the end, you have to think you are giving the uttariya vastra, the upper garment. Because every person wears usually two garments, is it not? One lower, one upper. Even similarly, the prana also being one lower garment and one upper garment. Tasmadva etad ashishyanto. Therefore, having known this knowledge of the vital force, ashishyanta, while eating, purasta, before beginning the food, uparishtacha, having finished eating the food, at the end of the food, adbhi paridadati, with water we dress up the prana. Just a child has been dressed up with pants and shorts and shirts. Similarly, here, prana is a child, and we are putting one for shorts first. This is not first, the lower garment, then the upper garment, shirt also. This is what they are doing. By doing so, lambuko havaso bhavati. He becomes a receiver of the garment. Who is receiving the garment? The prana. Thereby, anagnoha bhavati. Thereby, he becomes freed from being naked. What is the necessity to say so? There is big shastrartha now again. Why this statement has come? He receives garment means by that only it is implied that is no more naked. Why it should be said separately? Anagnoha bhavati. The way shastrartha, the objector stands up and asks many questions over here. We'll go into Vidvibhashya. Sahovacha punah prana. Sa means again that prana said, asked those or speech, etc. Purva Deva Kalpana, you see. The concoction of the story here should be understood as before, as stated before. Then this is an unauthoritative text, or the non-authoritative text portion of the Vedas. After this, Tasmatva etadashyanta, from there, the authoritative text begins. Up to Hochu, it's a story, imaginary story. Kimme vasu vishaditi apaiti hochu vagadaya. He asked, what will be my garment? The order of speech, etc. replied, apaiti, means water. Yasmat pranasya vasapa, since water is the garment of prana, vital force, Tasmad vaitad shishyanda. Therefore, whoever who knows such the clothes, the garments of prana, what do? Ashishyanda. While they are about to eat. Ashishyanda. Shatri pratyanta. And that too in bhavisha, siya pratyay. They are about to begin to eat the food. They have not eaten a single grain before that. Before starting to eat, what do? Says bhokshamanaha bhuktavantascha, and after having eaten the food completely, in the end also, brahmana vidvansaha etat kurvanti. Scholars who know, or the people who know this, what do? They do this. Kim? What? Advihi vasasthaniyabihi पुरस्ताद भोजनात् पूर्व पृष्ठाच्च भोजनात् ऊर्ध्वंच परिदधति परिधानं कुर्वन्ति. वासस्थानीयाभि अद्भिः is water in which you are looking upon it as garments, clothes. Purastat bhojanat purvam, before starting to eat food. Uparishtacha bhojanat urdhvam, after having completed eating food. Paridhanti, paridhanam kurvanti, they dress up the prana by doing so. Mukyasya prana se lambuko, lambana shilo, vasuha bhavati. By when the person does so, what happens is this mukhya prana, this vital force, the chief vital force, becomes a receiver of the garments, of the clothes. Vasusa labdhaiva bhavati, he becomes a possessor of the garment. Anagnoha bhavati, thereby he becomes freed from being naked. Vasasa lambukatvena arthasiddhaiva. Dekho, the Bhashyakara is himself giving an introduction to Shvarta Shastra Artha. He said just by saying lambukoha bhavati, by that only it is implied that he is no more naked. Then why the Shruti, the Upanishad separately is telling that anagnoha bhavati? What is the purpose? Vaso lambukatven arthasiddha eva anagnata. The freedom from nakedness, anagnata, is implied. Arthasiddha means is implied from the statement that lambukoha vaso bhavati. Just by being the possessor of the garments itself, it is very clear that he is freed from nakedness. So anagno bhavati ki uttariyavan bhavati tyeta. Therefore, you have to take a sip even after the food. How you came to know that? And why two times? One is the adho vastra, the other is the uttariya vastra, to imply this enjoyment of meditation. Because here there is no separate sipping enjoying here. The Shastras will take place and for that also. Usually you do achon for purification. It's only for purification. Amrita upasaranamasi swa, this mantra, by taking this, what is water? It is amrita. This nectar is going to pure this body. It is going to purify this body and is making this body eligible for doing a yajna. The Vaishwana yajna is going to take place now. What is the Vaishwana yajna? The Vaishwana Agni is here. To him I am feeding all the food. Agni Swaha, Prajapati Swaha, or any mantra you are taking, and you are performing a yajna. You are not going to eat food. You are performing a yajna. For that purpose, you have to purify the fire. The fire is there. And that fire, with all your what you call is saliva going again and again, it becomes jutha. It is impure now. So by that nectar, you have to purify the fire. Just like in the external yajna, what you do? You put the fire and take some ghritam and you put on the northern side and the southern side. By that you are purifying the fire and making it ready for the karma, the action that you have to do, the yajna that performing, you want to, the rites you are going to perform. Similarly, here also you have to do. Even this is the rite. It's an Agnihotra. Vaishwana Agnihotra. You have to make this fire ready for that. So, it is a portion, a part of the Vaishwana Agni karma that you are sipping water. While you are sipping in that, you have to just look it upon, you meditate upon that water as a garment of prana. Otherwise, you have to do different vidhis here now. One vidhi, one enjoyment for purification, and another as vastram, as garment also. But Bhashyakara says no, it is just a meditation on the previous vidhi itself. There is no two separate enjoyments here. How? Bhashyakara will explain everything now. The Shastra begins therefore. भोक्ष्यमाणस्य भुक्तवतश्च यद आचमन शुद्ध्यर्थम विज्ञातम तस्मिन् प्राणस्य वास इति दर्शन मात्रम यह विधीयते. Bhashyakara says very clearly, भोक्ष्यमाणस्य भुक्तवतश्च, a person is going to begin to eat and a person has eaten the whole thing. Yet achman, the sipping of water that it does is meant for shuddhyartam iti vijnatam, is meant for purification. It is well known in the Karmakanda Bhaga itself. It is an enjoyment in the Karmakanda Bhaga. Tasmin pranasya vasa. In that, what you have to look upon, darshana matra, you will have to look upon it. What is enjoined here is that one should merely look upon the well-known sipping of water, which is meant for purification. On that water, you have to look it upon as the garment of prana. Advi paraditi na achamnantram. Advi paraditi. This statement does not mean that there is an additional sipping of water being enjoined. There is no separate injunction here. The injunction is already in the Karmakanda Bhaga, stating for purification you have to sip water. Depending on that injunction only, you are sipping the water. While sipping that water, on that you have to look it upon as garment. This is what this statement is saying, adbi paridadati. This is not a separate injunction. You cannot imply through this that for dressing up this prana, you will have to separately sip water. This is not a separate injunction at all. Na achamnantram. Yatha, he gives an example of Bhashyakara. Yatha laukikai pranivari adyamanam annam pranasya darshanatram. Just as before what we said, water is eaten by, the food eaten by all creatures is the food of prana. He asked, what is my food? You said what? All that is eaten by all the creatures. What does that mean to say? That means to say, whatever is being eaten by whichever creature, you have to see in that, oh, this is the food of vital force. That's all. That drishti, that darshan means that upasana, that meditation has to be done, that's all. Whether a person is, creature is eating non-vegetarian or vegetarian food, it does not matter. You have to see that food is the food of vital force. A meditation was enjoined. Similarly here, the sipping of water is happening. It is well known and it has to be done as a part of the Vaishwanagnihotra. It has to be done. Whether you meditate on it as a garment or not, you are doing it. You have to do it if you want to eat food properly. Otherwise you are worse than animal. The animals never do achaman and eat. And you are also not doing achaman and eating, that you are worse than an animal. So as soon as the Upanayana Sanskara has done, the first thing that has been taught, Sandhyavandanam, and these things only. How to eat food. This is what is being taught. Nowadays they do Upanayana Sanskara and Kailas Ashram, many ashramas, they don't teach anything. No Sandhyavandana, how to eat, they don't teach anything. Just they put a thread and live. You can put a thread on buffalo also and live. What is the difference? No difference at all. Teach them what is the meaning of this, what is the purpose, and what is the benefit that you can attain by these things. How you can become more purified, you purify your own antakarna, the inner self, by these things. They are all helping agents to rise ourselves from this animalhood to become a human being. But we don't know at all. These are not being taught nowadays anywhere here.
Swami, just doing Gayatri Japam isn't it substitute for the Sandhya Vandana?
No. Just rotis cannot become food. Dal is needed, sabji is needed, something is needed. Or you'll make paratha. In that only you put muli and everything. Muli paratha, vegan paratha. It is there, only roti. Because Gayatri is a part of Sandhyavandana. Gayatri itself cannot become Sandhyavandana or equal to Sandhyavandana at all. It is one portion in that Sandhyavandana. Even though there is an important portion, it's just like a spinal cord of Sandhyavandana. But it's essential. But just doing Gayatri is not enough also. Just having a spinal cord is of no use. If you want to walk, you have to have legs also. All parts are needed. Similarly is here. Anyway. But because nowadays the boys, children, they don't have time so much. Early in the morning, 7 o'clock is the school. They have to get up, take bath, get ready, breakfast, this and that. They don't have to do Sandhya. Then we say, come at least do Gayatri. 10, 11 Gayatri at least you do and then go. Evening when you come back, at that time you do proper Sandhya. Because the system is so nowadays, we are forced to say this and let them do at least something. But that does not mean that Gayatri Japa is equal to Sandhya Vandanam. But something is better than nothing. In that way it is being told. But at the same time you have to understand nothing is better than nonsense also. That you have to keep in mind very clear. That doesn't mean evening also you have to do in the same way. When you have a lot of time, do proper Sandhya Vandanam. That was an excuse. Lack of time. But evening is not lack of time. That cannot be an excuse there. You have to do properly the whole thing. Every Saturday this is what we would have to do in our house also. There is no other go. Every Saturday early morning schools. Monday to Friday it's okay. Daytime from 10 o'clock up to 5 o'clock. 10 to 5 school. Then we early in the morning get to the whole Sandhya and evening also whole Sandhya we are doing. But Saturdays will not do. It's not possible to do. So that's why Saturdays in the early morning shortcut Sandhya we are doing early morning. Short Sandhya. And immediately do Gayatri Japa and run. You have to go to school and before time you have to stand there. There is punishment is there, many insult also, to face many things. So when there is lack of time, it is an excuse. But not all the times it is not like that. On Sundays, Trikala Sandhya we are doing. Monday to Friday, Dvikala Sandhya proper. Saturdays, one call proper Sandhya, one call shortcut Sandhya. And Sundays, Trikala Sandhya, morning, afternoon, evening, 3 times. That would be in the house. Danda. Come on, all boys, 12 o'clock, ho raha hai, get ready. All the 6 and that 7. I would say Monday to Sunday, the whole week is here. If one person does, the whole week is done. No, all should do. So, yatha laukikai pranivir adyamanam annam pranasit darshana matram. So what you did before, stated this, all people it is well known as we see, just as all atha laukikaihi pranibhi, creatures of all the whole world, adyamanam annam, that is being eaten, the food eaten by them. What you have to see in it? Pranasiti darshana matram. It is enjoined here to merely looked upon as the food of the vital force. Tad similarly, here also, the well-known sipping of water, achamanam, on that you have to look upon as garment. Because the food eaten by all creatures is well known. There need not be an injunction that all should eat food. And then you have to see into it as food of vital force. It's unnecessary. All are eating food, whether it's an injunction or not, whether they are going to enjoy or not, but still everybody is eating food. All creatures of the world are eating food. When they are eating on that food, you have to look it upon as food of vital force. Similarly here also, everybody will be doing achamanam, the sipping of water, before food and after food, for the purpose of purification of the fire Vaishnavagni within. Just look upon it as garment. This is what we are enjoining here. Taddat kimme annam kimme vasa ityadi prashna pratyucharturita. How you are saying that? What is the similarity? Because the question and answer are similar, you see. Before, what is the question? Kimme annam. In that you said only meditation be done. The food is not enjoined, only meditation is enjoined on it. Similarly here also, what is the question? Kimme vasa. Therefore, water need not be enjoined. Sipping of water need not be enjoined. Just only meditation on it as garment should be enjoined here also. That is similarity. The question and answer, previous and present, both are similar. यदि आचमन अपूर्वम तादर्थन क्रियता, भाष्यकार says if आचमन अपूर्वम आचमन, अपूर्वम in the sense if sipping of water be a fresh injunction, separate injunction, there is 2 sipping of water should be done then. 2 times you will have to do. One for purification, one for garment. Afresh you are doing an injunction, separate injunction now for garment purpose. That injunction which was of a part of the Karma Kanda, Vaishnava Agnihotra was for purification. That is separate. And this for garment purpose you have to enjoin separately another sipping of water. That's what is apurvam acham. Apurvam means a fresh injunction, separate from that previous one. Tadarthyana, for garment purpose. If you are going to enjoin kriyeta, tada krimyadi annamapi pranasa bhakshyatun vitam syat. Then we will have to imply by this the same way with the previous text also. There also you have to enjoin one more separate injunction, that krimyadi annamapi pranasya bhakshyatun vitam syat. The food eaten by the worms, etc. The food eaten by the worms, etc. will also become bhakshya, eatable by the person who has become prana. That is, the person who is doing prana upasana will have to eat even what sugar eats, then what pig eats, shit also. Khana padega. Because you become prana vidya, you are practicing prana vidya, meditating prana on prana with all its qualities. You have become prana now, you got prana aham asmi, then you have to eat everything. It is not accepted by the Shruti or anybody. Therefore, that means to say, as you have accepted before, the food should be eaten is not enjoined for pranavetta. Similarly here, separate sipping of water cannot be enjoined for pranavetta. If we enjoin a separate injunction here, we put here, we accept this, adviparidhati also a separate injunction for pranavetta, then there also everything will become eatable, will also become an injunction for pranavetta. This is the objection given by Bhashyakara. If you are going to pressurize and state that here this sipping of water should be a separate, a fresh injunction. This counter argument given by Bhashyakara to prove that there is no separate injunction of sipping of water. तुल्य और विज्ञानार्थ प्रश्न प्रकरण से विज्ञानार्थत्वाद अर्धजृत्यो न्यायो न युक्त कल्पयितो. It is not right to say a woman is half old and half young. Ardhajritiya न्याय. Ardhajriti means a woman is young, how much? Half. Half body is young and half body is old. Can you do such an imagination in a woman? कि स्त्री को कहो आधी तो जवान है, आधी बूढ़ी हो गई, पैर से नीचे जवान, पैर से ऊपर बूढ़ी, ये सीधे सीधे हाफ पोर्शन कर दो. दाहिना भाग बूढ़ी हो गई है, बायां भाग जवान है. You cannot imagine like that at all. Similarly, you can't say Kimyanam, that portion, there is no afresh injunction, and here in Adviparidhati, the separate injunction. When one single context, one single story being imagined, in that half of the story you are telling there is an injunction, and half story there is no injunction, only meditation. This you cannot imagine such a way. You cannot conjugate any statement in such a way. The conjugation of any statement, an anvaya of the vakya, cannot be done in this way. Half in one way, half in another way. Therefore, as and because the prashna prativachanaya, the question and answer are similar, vijnanartaya, the meditate, the purpose of the whole story is to enjoy meditation only. Even that is similar in both the portion, anna portion and jala portion, both the portion, food and water. In both the portion, the purpose of this portion is meditation, that is similar, and the question and answer way, the question is put and the answer that has been replied is also similar. Therefore, this prakarana, this in this whole case is one case. It's not two different cases. Anna is not a different case, and this water is not a different case. The whole thing is one single case, being different meditations being stated for a pranavitta that he has to do in his whole life. Therefore, Vijnanarthatvat, Prakaranasya Tulyor Vijnanarthatvat is meant for one single meditation to be done by the pranavitta, the knower of the prana, the vital force, who possesses the knowledge of vital force as stated before. But now the object stands up. Up to here, the doctrinal Bhashagara has said, given what you call it, the summary of the whole story. On this, having heard this summary, now the fellow says, objector says, no. Yattu prasiddhamachanam prayatyartham pranasya anagradarthancha nabhavati. The well-known sipping of water is meant for purification, and that cannot be meant for freeing this prana from being naked. It cannot be for dual purpose, both for purification and for freeing from nakedness. Two purposes there. Both these purposes cannot be gained by one single sipping of water. The well-known sipping of water, which was meant for purification, cannot be meant for both the purposes. Iti chet, Bhashikara says, then satyam. This much portion is not in there, you write this. Iti chet satyam. Ityuchate. After that, Bhashikara said, Nabhavati ityuchate. Yattu ityuchate. Iti chet satyam. As for the objection stated by some objector, that the well-known sipping of water is meant for purification, but that cannot be meant for freeing this vital force being from naked. Therefore, if somebody says so, then he says, yes, Satyam, I also do accept it. But only partially I accept it. Satyam is partial acceptation, not total acceptation of the objector. Partially I am accepting. Because I am also saying that one single sip cannot be for two different purposes. I also accept this. What I am saying here is, I am not telling the sipping of water is meant for two purposes. I am telling that the sipping of water is meant for purification only. But while sipping, you look upon it as a garment. If you meditate that water as a garment, the purpose of meditation is what? To become non-naked, to make the prana non-naked thing. There are two different purposes now. Sipping of water is external action. That serves the purpose of purification. And meditation is internal action. That serves the purpose of making the vital force non-naked. So, two different actions. The external action is for a separate purpose. Internal action is meant for a separate purpose. And internal action does not need a separate sipping of water. The sipping of water is an external action. You are doing one. That's enough. You need not do separately for meditation purpose again. That's what Bhashikara says. Na tatha vayam achamna ubhayartam brahma. We do not say in that sense at all that one single sip of water gives you two benefits. We have never said so. I don't say so. Bhashikara says. Kintari, then what do you have said? Prayatyarthachana sadhanabhuta apaha pranasya vasa iti darshanam chodyati iti brahma. This is what I am telling. The sipping of water which is meant for purification, prayatyartha achamana sadhanabhuta apaha. The sipping of water was meant for purification, and the sadhana, the means of sipping is what? Water. In that water, pranasya vasiti darshanam chodyate. We are asking you to meditate on that water as garment of the vital force only. This is what is being enjoined here. We are not enjoining directly the fruit of meditation as the fruit of the sipping of water itself.
But sipping of water itself, your thinking is for purification. That is also,
No. It is not thought. It is a vidhi. It's physical action being done. For that physical action, the fruit of that physical action is purification. It is not you are not thinking it. It's been said by the Shruti.
No, but we think that is for purification of Vaishwana Agni, and then you say.
You are not thinking at all. It is the fruit of that action. Thinking is meditation. You are not meditating so. You are not meditating that this water is going to purify my fire. No. It is the fruit of that achaman itself directly. This is what the Shruti says. And if you say now that the fruit of that sipping of water is also anagnata, then one action you two fruits. That is the Purvapaksha. That's not possible. Further Siddhanti says, no, we are not saying so. We are not saying that the fruit of the external action is two. Purification and anagnata, non-nakedness. Both, no, I am not saying so. This is what Bhashyakara is telling. Bhashyakara says very clearly that I want to say what is the fruit of external action, physical action is purification that has been enjoined by the Karmakanda part that we are not enjoying now. And in that, to that only, we are not enjoying this fruit of non-nakedness also. But what we are saying is, you meditate on that water as garment. The fruit of this meditation is non-nakedness. Not of that physical action. Not of that physical action. But this is the fruit of meditation. This is the difference. Therefore, one single action is not given two different fruits. There are two different actions. One is external physical, one is internal meditation, mental. The physical action and its fruit is being enjoined by the Karmakanda Bhaga. That is not being either enjoined here, no injunction regarding that is being done over here. The injunction that is here is what you are enjoining here is just meditation and its fruit. No separate injunction of sipping of water or no injunction of this fruit to that sipping of water also. That should be very clear. Iti bruma, darshanam chodite, here is enjoined. Darshanam is enjoined. Chodite means vidhi. Enjoined, vidhiyate. It is looked upon as a garment. That much meditation is only being enjoined here. Iti bruma, this is what we are saying. Tatra achamanasya ubhayartatva prasanga dosha chodana anupapanna. Because what we are saying is this, therefore there is no chance for such an illogical objection to be raised by you. Achamanasya ubhayartatva prasanga dosha. One single sipping of water is fulfilling two different purposes. That objection which you raised is totally anupanna, is illogical. Your argument, here chodana means argument. The objection along with the argument given by you is illogical, is anupapanna. There is no upatti, no logic behind it. Therefore, this objection cannot be raised at all. Vasvartha eva achamane tad darshanam syadi chet. Then Purvapakshi says, the objector, then sir, one sentence enjoying two ideas will come up now. The case will become so. Vasvartha eva achamane tad darshanam syad. In this sentence, if the sentence is meant for meditation, Vasvartha, and achamane tad darshanam syad, upon sipping as garment, you do both injunctions together by one single statement. This statement itself is giving an injunction of sipping of water plus meditation as garment, both. One single sentence. Before the question was different, now the question is different. Before the question was, the sipping of water has been enjoined by the Karmakanda, the same is giving a different fruit, double fruit is being given by that. That was answered. No, we are not saying so. But now what the person is saying, give up that sipping of water and that enjoyment, everything. Here, advi paridadhati is the statement. Even this is a separate injunction. And by this separate injunction, what you are doing is two things. Two things are being enjoined. One, achamanam. Number 2, meditation. Both are being enjoyed by one single statement. Bhashyakara says it's not possible. Because in Arthasangra you might be remembering Vakya Bheda dosha was there, one dosha. One single statement, sentence gives many different ideas, and all those different ideas are separate injunctions. Then it is Vakya Bheda dosha. That's not possible. Regarding one single injunction, many things are being enjoined together. It does not matter. But the different enjoining, different injunctions, giving different meanings, that is not possible. But one single sentence cannot have many meanings in this way. Bhashyakara says, Vakya Vedha. Vasvarthi vachane tadrasham seti chet no. Vasogyanartha vakya. Vasvartha apurva achana vidhane. Tatra anagnataarthatva drishti vidhane vakya vedasya. Why? Because in the sentence, which is meant for meditation, Vaso Jnanartha Vakya. Jnana means meditation. Vaso Jnanartha Vakya. This sentence is meant to enjoin meditation as garment over that water. Such Vaswarth Apurvachana Vidhani. By the same statement, what you want to do? For this meditation purpose, you want to inject a separate Achamanam, sipping of water also. At the same time, Tatra Aragratartha Drishti Vidhanecha. As well as together with it, you want to put another enjoyment in it for anagnata purpose, for non-nakedness also. Then the Vakya Vedosha comes up. One sentence giving two different ideas being enjoined here is called a defect. A defect of a sentence. This is a defect in sentences actually. Such a sentence becomes unauthoritative, apramanika. Therefore, a sentence having Vakya dosha cannot be authoritative pramanika. Achamana tadartattam anyartattam cheti pramana bhava. Because achamana, the sipping of water, should be for two different purposes that cannot be possible. Because there is no authority for enjoining two different things by one single sentence. Two actions for two different purposes by one sentence. Anyartattam tadartattam cha. For garment purpose and also for non-nakedness. For two different purposes, one single sentence cannot enjoin two different actions for two different purposes. Therefore, what we had given the summary of the whole story, that the sipping of water is enjoined by Karmakanda as a part of the Vaisharagni Vidya, and the purpose also being given by that statement only as purification. So what has to be done now? In that external action which is being enjoined earlier, and the purpose of that is different totally. Okay? While you are doing that action, physical action, the mental action is you have to sit as garment, and the fruit of this meditation is anagnata.